And on Monday, we saw Prime Minister Narendra Modi unveiling the national emblem cast atop the new Parliament building, marking the first major milestone ahead of the building's scheduled opening for later this year. But now there has been criticism by the opposition on several counts. One is that the Prime Minister conducted a puja and that he was there who, unveiled the national emblem. Some felt it should have been the Speaker of the Parliament who would be there. Also, why other opposition members were not invited for this function, given Parliament is not, it's something that represents the whole of India and all MPs, etc. So other leaders should have also been invited for this function. Trinamool has also pointed out, Trinamool leaders have pointed out that the national emblem, the lions, are very different from what we usually see, and that they seem to be angry, the kind of lions that have been used in this structure here. As you can see, there's snarling lions if you compare to what we're used to seeing. And Jawahar Sircar there has tweeted insult to our national symbol, the majestic Ashokan lions. Original is on the left. He tweeted a picture of the original, what we've seen of the Ashoka lions that are graceful, regally confident, but the one in the Parliament, on the Parliament building, is seen snarling. Well, let's go across now. We're joined by Chandra Kumar Bose, former Vice President BJP, West Bengal, and political activist, and Jawahar Sircar, Rajya Sabha MP. Jawahar Sircar, first to you, tell us what did you find problematic about the national emblem that was unveiled yesterday?
You have a look at it. People will have a look at it. Any close look will reveal that it has a sort of aggression in its facial appearance, the facial appearance of the lions, whereas what Samrat Ashok was trying to convey was a controlled regality. Regal power has an inbuilt strength within it, which it needs to control. The placid expression on the face of very aggressive creatures like lions was an ultimate embodiment of the message of peace that Ashok was trying to give. But here we find in this visualization a certain aggression that has crept in the facial expression. Apart from that, there are distortions in size, scale, and other aspects that any committee of fair artists would be able to point out. It doesn't give you the same feeling of placid strength. It doesn't give you
Let me get a response, Chandra Bose, your response to that.
Well, it is the sculptor's, impression. Over the years, it has evolved into the structure that we see today. Everything evolves in society. We have also evolved over the years, 75 years after independence. But you see, an artist's impression is not necessarily, kind of the government's, approval. Everything you cannot possibly blame the government of India or the Honorable Prime Minister. Yes, I accept the view that Mr. Jawahar Sircar has stated that there is a change. It is certainly there is a modification in the new structure. But I think, let us not criticize always. I mean, opposition should be a positive criticism. Unnecessarily just to criticize, a kind of impression that has come out. I mean, okay, opposition members should have been certainly invited to the program. There I fully support the move. But let us not, criticize the sculptor. This is what he thought. Maybe India is different today. And that is what he has been able to project through his, architecture or sculpture.
Right, Jawahar Sircar, your response to that, and also this other criticism, around the puja, the fact that it was the Prime Minister who unveiled, not the Speaker of the Lok Sabha, and also that no opposition leaders were invited.
Absolutely. No opposition leader were consulted when the entire building was coming up. No member of parliament was consulted when the entire building was coming up about the necessity of spaces, the destruction of the very, very historic central lobby. So there are major issues regarding the parliament building. But coming right to the top, yesterday it was I've treated that as well, just a very exclusive function of 4 persons. This is an insult to parliamentary democracy. Government is only one end of parliamentary democracy. By ignoring the other greater participation of the opposition, it has insulted parliament. But now coming straight to this argument that Mr. Bose has given, I appreciate his broadness of view, but basically he admits that there's a distortion. And I'm afraid no distortion is allowed. No distortion is allowed by Act. There is a National Symbols Act. There is a National Flag Act. There is absolutely no scope for artistic freedom. A replica is a replica is a replica. A replica has to be a replica to convey the original.
And this argument that Chandra Bose is saying, why blame the Prime Minister for something that the artisans or the artist has perhaps made?
No, it doesn't work like that. I have worked in government. Whenever something is going in the Prime Minister's name, it is screened by 3-4 levels. 3-4 levels have to screen and check the veracity of what is happening. Obviously, this is rushed-in affair, and obviously the Urban Development Minister is mainly at fault of not watching, not deciphering the distortion and permitting and encouraging the Prime Minister to inaugurate a distorted image. So it is the ultimate blame remains with the Prime Minister. Whoever else may have come in the roadmap to his inauguration. This is how parliamentary democracy functions.
All right, Mr. Chandra Bose, what would you say to that? That Jawahar Sarkar is saying there can be no, you call it evolution and people evolving and the symbol also evolving, but Jawahar Sarkar pointing out that the symbol cannot evolve, it has to remain original to what it is.
Well, I appreciate his view, but I think this needs to be discussed in Parliament threadbare and definitely on the floor of the House, whether this structure can change over the years, whether we should project a different, image. That needs to be discussed, and final, the summation has to come with a joint parliamentary, discussion. There I agree. You should not rush into a structure so important for the image of our country. So that is, I think, a flaw, a mistake on the part of the government. We should, I think, have a discussion in Parliament when the session starts, and then if any modification required, it should be done.
I don't see how a modification can now be done, but yes, what we're seeing on top of the Parliament is so different from what the type of lions that we see in the Ashokan pillar that are in our museums at Sarnath. Jawahar Sarkar, final response to what Mr. Bose said?
Yes, I mean, these discussions should have been held much, much earlier. It's been a completely one-man traffic, one-man decision. I have asked repeated questions to the Urban Development Minister as to who took the choice for the visual, for the architecture, for the selection of the architect, for the utilization of spaces, to which he has round answers, saying that the Speaker was consulted once and the Deputy Chairman was consulted, or Chairman of the Rajya Sabha was consulted once, and a small committee, I've never heard of it, they went into it. I have repeatedly saying, why can't you bring it to the floor of the Parliament? It is, after all, a house meant for parliamentarians. It is not meant for architects of the Urban Development Department selected specially from Gujarat for certain past records. It's an unknown architect where Delhi is concerned. He has not been on a consultative board. He has done whatever he felt like with the Central Vista. He is doing whatever he feels like with Parliament. And here he has transgressed a very, very sacred space. The national symbol and the national flag of India are non-negotiable. the slightest distortion is sacrilege to us. We cannot accept it. We just cannot accept it, irrespective of which government did it, who did it. So it has to be in toto with the original model. You cannot now go and file the teeth of the lion to make it look a little less aggressive. It is done. It is done. So you have to take it down now, and we have examples of such things being taken down and kept for display as a piece of historical folly.